softly, 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 I awake to myself. Slowly, slowly, I stir, keeping my balance, walking the tightrope of existence. Gently, gently, I rock myself to sleep once more. Rest you, sleep you, stillness keep you. I am near you, sleep you so still.
Welcome to New Earth Podcast, where we dive into inspiring stories, profound wisdom, and insights from remarkable individuals who are driving the consciousness shift on our planet. If you're ready to elevate your awareness and well-being, you're in the right place. But before we dive into today's episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. Together, we'll continue to explore the ideas and conversations that help you up-level your consciousness. Thank you so much for your support and your comments and for being part of this journey. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm totally delighted to have with me Amanda Waring, my dear friend and sister. Amanda is a filmmaker, medicine woman, celebrant, and performance poet whose work has touched countless lives, with a rich career that includes starring roles in the West End musicals, acclaimed TV series, and films. As a celebrant, she has led peace ceremonies and brought comfort to many, even singing to the dying from the young age of 8. Amanda's award-winning films have revolutionized the care of the elderly, bringing dignity and compassion to the forefront of care practices. Through her powerful poetry, sound healing, and sacred ceremonies, Amanda continues to uplift hearts and champion peace and well-being around the world. Welcome, Amanda. So wonderful to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you, darling. It's so lovely to be here, and thank you for such a lovely introduction as well. Sometimes I forget what I've been doing.
There's just so much. You've got so many kind of strings to your bow, as it were, and I just wonder how you kind of weave it all together, or if you do that, or if they're all just separate pieces for you.
It's really interesting. I think it's only just now that I've kind of discovered, I know it's the buzzword about, being ADHD and everything else. I work very well juggling lots of plates all at one time because my brain just works in that way. So I think my brain can get a little bit bored if it's not, I used to read 7 books at a time when I was a child. And so my spider brain works in that way that everything, I think I might freak out other people, but I might leave things to the last minute, but they always get done.
Beautiful. And today's going to be a little bit different, isn't it, to the usual podcast where it's more of a chat and perhaps there'll be a little bit of a transmission by my guest, because the power of your voice, your voice is all about really bringing in that healing energy and utilizing that. So it's going to be kind of experiential as well. So Amanda's going to be sharing a lot of her poems later on. So I do really encourage you to keep listening in, because your poems, they're really about transformation and the ability to find that inner peace within. Is that something you can expand upon a little, Amanda?
Yes, I think for me, sort of at a fairly young age, I started writing poems to help me through my own challenges and traumas. And I think then as I've got older, I've realized that actually there is such a benefit in listening to the way that somebody speaks, the tone of the voice, but also the rhythm. and the repetitive rhythm and the magic that can be within that as well. And the sense that within poetry already there's a kind of lyricism and a ritual that's kind of interwoven, which I think taps into something where those that are listening can relax or explore. So I think poetry can take one on a journey more deeply than perhaps other aspects of writing can, because even just in a few words, in a space of a few words, you can have a whole world within that. And my desire is to have an impact on as many people as I possibly can, whether it's through my words, poetry, music, shows, songs, however it can be, for people to be able to release the pain. And part of looking at peace, it's not all fluffy and, oh, it's got to be perfect. It's about what is not only kind of twisting your peace, but where are you not willing to find peace? And sometimes that honest reflection is quite powerful, where most people say, oh, yes, I want to be peaceful. But I'm not really talking about being Zen peaceful. I am to a degree in some of my work. I'm talking about that peace where we can sit with ourselves for 5 minutes on our own with ourselves. And can we reach that depth of acceptance? Because when we reach that
Go
depth of acceptance,
into the pain to be able to do that. And I know your poems are quite emotive and potentially quite triggering as well. But within that, there's always the medicine.
yes, yes, absolutely. And sometimes we have to be, triggered, or we can recognize a story in someone else's poems and their story that then echoes our own. And always within the poetry that I write, I use, I record, there's always a journey, so that though I might trigger some pain, out of that audio comes the remedy, um, and another way to look at the possibility of light accessing those darker places, and I think the balance that we need to find as well when we have gone through trauma is vitally important. We can't just magically say, oh, it's gone, but at least allowing ourselves to let that light in can be very important. Yes.
Well, that's where the gift comes in, isn't it? The kind of wounding that we all have, if we can let the light in, they're the places that we can let the light in a way. They are
Yeah.
the places where we have the potential to open up through our pain. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful combination of arts, healing through the arts that you're bringing together there, Amanda.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you. Well, it's been such an interesting journey, because I've never really realized, I never think of myself as any one thing. And now that I am getting more work with regards to my poetry and performing it in different places, um, I really feel like it's a gift that I'll hopefully want to inspire in other people as well, to just take that time to access a different way of expressing who you are in an honest way, in a safe way. You don't have to share it with anyone else. It can be your own inner dialogue to yourself. But I would really love to see more people coming together for poetry. I think it's coming to the fore a lot more, but for poetry healing sessions, so prescriptive poetry, um, and just the ability to also be in silence. So the pause after a poem can often be more important than the poem itself.
Beautiful. I know you've just launched a new a book of poetry, and you've also put a whole series of poems on your YouTube channel. Just
Yes.
wondered whether you could share some of the themes in these poems.
Yeah, absolutely. So please go to the YouTube channel, which is Amanda Waring Films. And on there is a real mixture of poetry. Some of it, as we've said before, very hard hitting poetry, where perhaps I'm giving voice to that which is not talked about. So that would be domestic abuse and child abuse, and looking at the the pain, and then the reconciliation on some levels within those stories. Um, But what I've been focusing on for this and coming into 2025 as well is poetry for inner and outer peace, and also how we can activate ourselves to be motivated enough to engage in world peace without feeling overwhelmed and that there's nothing that we can do. So the poetry that I will share today will come from, it's called We Are Family. And this is a sort of my latest collection of poetry to really inspire a sense of community and communing with yourself. And also, what I'm encouraging everyone to do is to come to my site and to send me a little video as well, saying once I will share this poem, particularly the first one, once we recognize that we are family, that there is a sentence, that for me, that is actually for all of humanity when we are destroying each other and destroying the planet, the medicines, we are family. And, for some people, that in itself can be triggering because they have difficult relationships with their family as well. But I'm talking about that soul balance of we are family. And that, we're coming into this new earth, as you were saying, the podcast, awakening that inside each other as well. So this poem that I've written that's had a great deal of interest, that was particularly in America as well, and that's being, different films are being put to it, and different organizations. I will send it out for schools and for women's groups with particular questions and trainings, and asking people to join the peace movement that carries with this poem as well. So yes, that's all connected, and it's also We Are Family is called that We Are Family, poems for inner and outer peace.
Beautiful, and how powerful. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, as we're shifting into new earth, the energies of collaboration and really been understanding our divinity, understanding our part in the greater whole, is becoming increasingly part of our remembering.
Yes.
So I love the way that you're working with this, and using your own unique tools, because we have many healers on the podcast, and you're a healer as well. So I know,
Yeah.
you're bringing that medicine through as well, but you're just doing it in your own quite different way through the poetry, and also because you're a celebrant, that you're able to hold these peace ceremonies as well.
Yes.
Do you bring the
Yes.
poetry into the ceremonies, or is that something different?
No, no, it's all part of it. It's all woven in. So I was really delighted. So at the solstice, I do a ceremony for maybe about 200, 300 people on Worthing Beach. So working with the element of the sea as well, which I know that you know how passionate I am about, uh, asking for all those that are there to really connect with the sea as a transportation and as a holding the memory of a different world that we wish to see, and singing our prayers of peace to the waters and listening to the waters' response back as well. And so it's very beautiful to be able to do ceremonies outside. And this year I also combined it with a peace concert, which I was doing inside Coast Cafe, which is a fantastic venue. And we were sort of jam packed in there. But within that, what I was able to do when it was quiet and not in the winds and with the fires and everything else going, was to bring this poetry that is there for transformation and heart opening poetry and comfort. That's the other thing, that what I realized within that ceremony, and when obviously any full moon ceremonies I do or new moon, we are choosing what it is that we wish to let go of, and we are calling in what we need to bring in. But sometimes we need that nudge. We can get bored in our own template of a vision.
Yes.
And I understand that, sometimes we really can. So sometimes, again, hearing someone else's vision in a different way can reignite that sense of ceremony for yourself. I watched all these beautiful faces of young, from 4-year-olds up to literally 90-year-olds. And we're all together and we're all focused on, ourselves and the community and the globe. And this is what I'm hoping as well that there are other groups that I'm doing around the coast in Sussex, and then in America, there's going to start to do some similar things with me, um, because I think that sense of art, ceremony, and heart is an unbreakable combination. That, when one person feels like they've dropped their hope, someone else will sing a song. Or when
Yeah.
someone's in grief, someone will speak up the poem that relates to that grief and hold them in that grief. So I think it's not a soft option. Art is a powerful tool for us to express and to find new ideas, new ways to support Mother Earth and our moving forward.
Thank you so much for sharing all that. I love what you say about the template, how it can be, our own template could be reignited by these kind of sharings of soul sisters and soul brothers. And in a way, this podcast is that for me. I'm kind of
Yeah,
constantly having my template re-looked at, because everyone's coming on, as co-creators with such incredible ideas, such a diversity. It's been wonderful.
yeah,
And I also loved the fact that you brought in the water, which I know is a really big part of your work, the water ceremonies, in terms of, you do a lot of work with dying as well, helping people
yeah,
across the Rainbow Bridge, and how
yeah.
the water ceremonies come into that as well.
Yes.
It's been such a theme on this podcast that it's amazing. It wasn't really planned, but it was just amazing that you were the follow-up. So we had a, a healing for Appalachia, working with
Yes, beautiful
toxic
man.
water there. Then we had
Yeah.
Vader Austin on. And I think
Yes.
you're next. It's all a bit of a blur
Yeah.
because we've had Christmas and New Year, but I think you're next. So I think there's been this whole theme. So the
Yeah.
consciousness of water and its healing properties, is that something you want to briefly speak to, and how you work with water some more?
Oh, absolutely. So, ever since again that I was quite a young girl, I would always speak to the water in my bath. Um, Again, I would sort of share my hopes and dreams with the water, and uh, something in me had just had this sort of awareness. And what I feel when we are able to go to sacred springs. So I will clear sacred springs, so do some physical manual work around that, but also very much about joining people now in song, because I sing these medicine songs and sacred songs that come to me and through me, and allowing, and particularly women, because there's something about, we need the men 100%, it's not saying that, but there is something of a remembrance around singing in temples with water. And I don't know if it was in Egypt or Greece, but there's something around, this is the magic of our, we, as will have been said, we are made up of water. We are water. We are flowing. We are moving. When we get stuck, and it takes away, water cleanses and takes away the fear. For me, when I work with people who are frightened of dying, which understandably, but when I can gently wash them and sing at the same time, there is a real sense of re-sanctifying. So there's something for me that is so sacred and also playful. So when I take women to work with the water as well, it's about having that playful dialogue as well, where we've forgotten what it's like maybe to splash and play and be exuberant and have that vitality. So water for me it's a two-way flow. And when that sacredness of connection with outside water happens, naturally those that struggle within loving themselves, that starts to become easier as well, because if you love that water, then you're loving yourself as well. So it's a beautiful sacred time, and the songs that I channel with the water are very expansive. And then when other women join in with their channeled singing, it's just exquisite. And my plan is to go to some of the places where the waters you've been doing with Mare, where the water is particularly bad, and physically be there and sing the prayers and see if we can help clear the water where the water companies are not
No,
doing
the
that.
privilege of working with you in Spain, because Amanda and I went exploring together in Spain, finding dragons and connecting with the ocean. And we connected with this most incredible cave that kind of, you went down in, and underneath the ground there was water, so it was a diving cave. And sadly, a few souls had been lost in there, and Amanda really helped to clear the energy and move the energy, because you'd really felt some of the souls had not been released from that place, didn't you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, creating that rainbow bridge of sound to allow them. And then what was amazing, wasn't it? It was
It
extraordinary
was
because
incredible.
we met the man that had been the diver. The bubbles came up from under this deep cave, and he was, he was there that had tried to rescue one of the policemen that had died trying to rescue somebody. So yes, there
That
was
was very
affirmation. All,
synchronistic that he should be there, and he was
yeah.
Spanish, so we were kind of communicate, but we understood everything, didn't we, just through heart connection. And
Yes.
it was incredibly powerful.
Yeah. And he'd built the steps, and that water there was phenomenal. We had to be there. So yes,
Yeah,
listening to the, we say our gut instincts, don't we? But we also say listen to the waters within.
to be there at that
Yeah.
particular moment when he was diving there, and he could tell us all that story as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
So
magical.
I'd love for you to share some of your poems with us.
Yes.
And I'd
Lovely.
really love to encourage the listeners to listen with an openness for healing, potential for healing and transformation, because that's what you're really aiming for, isn't it, with your work?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, this is a poem that it's called We Are Family. And this is the one that I mentioned before. And this is the poem that I wish to go around the world to become a viral mantra, if you like, for reigniting peace in a different way, to restore hope. So listen in whichever way feels right to you. We are family. We are daughters and mothers and grandmothers, and we create life. We did not give birth to children to kill, maim, or fight. We say no more devastation and shattered hearts. We implore the governments to become a part of building bridges for peace, no longer chained to the profits of war that only reassure those who live off the ammunition, the smokescreen of battle, the battleground of hate. Make love, not war. We swore to honor our brothers and sisters. We are family. We are family. Drum this to the world. Strum this to the world. Peace is possible. War is impossible. As an antidote to unity, let's become one community, where peace is held at its center as a sacred right, where we no longer have to fight for rights to be heard or seen, where a department of peace building allows us to intervene in the ways of tolerance and kindness, moving us from blindness into balance. We are family. We are family. Let's move away from autocracy towards a true democracy, remembering our interdependence and making non-violence a priority. Let's ungun America, shun the dogs of war, restore communication and recalibration. Let's shift into the celebration of our shared humanity, creating a culture of peace, where the vultures who pick at the spoils of war are shown what hands are for, to reach out, brother to brother, sister to sister, father to mother. We are family. We are family. We stand for peace. We dance the release of grief. We cry our pain for those who have lost their lives again and again and again. Oppression, suppression, depression, starvation. Let's move into an activation of solutions, a heart-based revolution. Peace is possible. We have to bring it into being by seeing it in our future. Drum it into life, not drums of war, drums of celebration, not his story, but her story, our story. Not glorifying war, but honoring peace and the release of the shackles of blame and shame as we regain one love, one family. We are daughters and mothers and grandmothers, and we are stepping up and stepping in. A rainbow hoop of all colors and all nations, not dying for war, but living for peace. Not dying for war, but living for peace. We are family. We are family. We are family. I'm just going to sing a song. When I work with my poetry, I sing as well between the poems. And may this blessing of peace be with you all. May there be peace in your ears and peace in your west. May there be peace in your north and peace in your south. May there be peace without and peace within, as your journey of peace begins, as your journey of life it brings, as your journey of love it sings. This love will carry. This love will carry you. Oh, this love, this love, this love will carry you home. And so, just taking us on a little journey of peace. And this is from my book, The We Are Family, as I've said. And I have what I call is a soul poem. And the soul poem is really a question of to you yourself, for yourself. What needs healing in you? What needs looking for you? What do you need to create? So, soul searching poem. What needs healing in me? What inspires me? What tires me? What do I need to release? How do I find peace? Who do I want to become? Have I become numb? Can I find my voice? Can I live as my choice? Can I connect, or do I reject myself? What have I learnt? Where have I got burnt? Can I let love in and begin to heal? And moving into this understanding of how very often we do not welcome ourselves. Maybe we were not welcomed into this world in the way that we could have been, our soul welcomed. So these next four poems are linked together in a way of bringing oneself back to a deeper understanding of, if you like, the life, death, life cycle as well, and finding peace within that. Be welcomed. Welcome to you, child of the seas and the trees and the earth and the stars. Medicine child, awake to the quake of your joy dance, your entrance, your birth. Bring forth your gifts, your magic, your ways, and live in beauty all of your days. Held in ceremony, ritual and rhyme, sealed with love so deep and divine. This is your time. Feel our call. Be witnessed, held, and loved by all. The invitation. Come, come, you are not done. Come back from the brink, you will not sink. Waves are coming in, surfs up, fly on silver crests, bring forth your best journey. Set sail on the back of a whale, I will sing you back. Come back, come back, you are not done. Listen to my love song, it's here where you belong. The return. And so the child came back. Ah, 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 she came back star-laden, embravened, painted with the holy raven's connection. She found her ways through that thickening haze. She didn't choke, but let the croak of frogs cleanse her clear. She walked and talked and ran and sang, and she was free. And the release. And the child swayed under the gaze of a swaying palm. And she lifted her voice and released her love charms, which carried in song, reached where they belonged. She sung the songs of liberation and divination, and she whispered wonders on the breeze. Child of all time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And looking back into that sense of welcome, so my own grandmother was my solace, my safe harbor. And in these next poems, I want to share the comfort of the universal grandmothers that weave their golden threads of light and compassion. So let their wisdom weave with your own, igniting the light of peace in body, mind, and soul. So I call upon the grandmothers. I call upon the grandmothers, my body immersed in salt water. If I call long enough, they must hear this granddaughter. I look down on my sea-wrinkled skin, willing ancient wisdom to seep in. They answer, and I float, peaceful now. My layers of imperfect memories loosen, carried away by the tide, swept away by the tide. Grandmother taught me. My body is not a vessel of hate or disgrace. My body is a vessel of love and grace. My body is not a vessel of shame or blame. My body is a vessel that I reclaim as sacred. And grandmother's song, I am gonna blow a soul sound into you, child. I'm gonna blow a soul sound into your soul. I'm going to weave the words that I've been told, speak them soft and speak them bold, unify and rectify the lost parts of your heart. I'm going to sing your soul song and bring you home and remind you that in your darkness, you are loved. In your grief, you are loved. In your aloneness, you are loved. In your silence, you are loved. And in your seeking, you are loved. My grandmother and her grandmother and her grandmother before wrap you in a shawl of song and story, reflecting back the glory of all that you are. We sing from the moon, we sing from the stars, we sing healing to mend all your wounds and your scars. I'm going to blow a soul sound into you, child. I'm going to blow a soul sound into your soul. I'm going to weave the words that I've been told, speak them soft and speak them bold, unify and rectify the lost parts of your heart. And sometimes when we are looking for that peace, it's the silence is golden, and understanding that solitude can bring inner peace. And so within this, I want to share probably just two more poems, and then this one is called Garden Blessing. Today I rested in my garden. I lay skin to soil and belly breathed, earth inhaled, supported, excavated, nurtured, revealed, opening heart gently unsealed. From my nestled place in grass, I decided to just simply be. Stillness allowed for fullness of my soul, without the need to coerce or control. Today I tasted, smelt, and felt the blessings of my garden. Rosemary and lavender and sage, dandelions in crevices, lilies, lilacs, all exquisite. I rested in my garden in gratitude and wonder, blue sky thinking, blinking in the dappled sun. And just to allow that feeling of hope during these times. My last poem I will share with you is called Planting. If you plant a seed, if you plant a seed and it takes root elsewhere, don't turn your back. The seed is still there. It's sowing that matters. Courage to try. Nerves may be shattered, but the seed cannot die. So may you all remember to honor and celebrate the seeds of love, compassion, hope, interaction, tenderness, gentleness, friendship, creativity, laughter, joy, reliability, responsibility, dignity, respect, love that you have planted in your life. And may you feel the peace of knowing that, God willing, you have another day to share more joy in this world and to plant more seeds for those who are to come. May my poetry help awaken something that perhaps you had forgotten. Many blessings.
Wow, Amanda, absolutely incredible. I'm so thrilled that I've given you the platform to share all that. And people at home, please share, 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 because this is just such important work.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you for sharing that with us. Where can people that have felt inspired by your work, where can they find your poetry book? Where can they find you on YouTube? I will put the links underneath, but just tell us a little
Yeah.
bit more about what the book's called and where it can be bought.
Yeah, so the booklet, it's called We Are Family, and also I have another booklet there which is called Be Welcomed, and they'll come with a you'll get a beautiful gift that goes with it as well, which is a lovely bookmark and just some other special goodies that come with it that are all kind of handmade and uh, just to help you have that bookmark in life to come back to in the book itself as well. Um, and you can buy that from my website. So there's a direct link from my shop there. Also, any of you that are interested in my films, which also are from my poetry, not my poetry, but someone else's poem that I had put into films, that will be there. And my books on care, the heart of care and being a good carer as well. So you'll have that opportunity to see the other things that I do. And I'd love it, all of you, to please join my YouTube channel, Amanda Waring Films, because that is where I've put already some beautiful set to music pieces of poetry. Kind of what I did today was a different sort of way, but kind of taking you on these 15-minute meditative journeys to help you restore yourself. And I'd love you to just let other people know about my work, like Sarah said. And if you feel you can do a little video for me and send it in, just to my YouTube channel or whatever, just saying we are family. It can be as simple as that. The idea is that I'm going to have a massive wall of videos of not only raising the collective consciousness of understanding it, but being able to utilize these films and really show that actually the majority of us do think that we are family.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone at home, for listening today and for supporting Amanda's incredible work. Thank you so much, Amanda. And I'm sure we'll have you back on the podcast again because you're eternally curious, creative, weaving webs. I'm sure you've already got something up your sleeve for what's happening next. Go on, tell
I
us
have.
quickly.
So I've got a program that's going to be coming out called Awaken with Amanda Waring. So this will be really about helping you awaken to your potential for this 2025. So that will be like one-on-one coaching where I'll use sound healing and poetry, and it can be on Zoom or in person. So look out for that being launched on the website at the end of January. And also I am creating these peace concerts that are going to be healing concerts, but using frequency and sound as well as poetry and intention. So those will be on my website soon as well. So I look forward to seeing
Amazing.
some of you there.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you,
Many
lovely.
blessings.
Yeah, bye.